Hi, my name is Caitlin Patterson, and this is my video about contraceptive devices for my human sexuality class. My assigned contraceptive device is the Diaphragm and Cervical Cap with spermicide. These similar types of contraceptives are for women. These devices can only be obtained by prescription, as they have to be specially fitted. I'm going to start this presentation off with a brief background history. The Diaphragm and Cervical Cap contraceptive devices were originally used in Europe, where Margaret Sanger discovered them and brought them over to America in the 1900s. After bringing the idea to America, her husband opened up the first diaphragm manufacturing company. A diaphragm is a thin latex membrane attached to a flexible ring in the shape of a shallow cup. This contraceptive method requires spermicide, which is either a jelly or cream that contains a chemical that kills sperm cells and prevents them from fertilizing eggs. In order for this contraceptive device to work, the user must apply the spermicide to the inside of the plastic ring and the center of the diaphragm. After applying the spermicide, you must then squeeze the edges of the ring and insert it into the vagina. This device must fit snugly against the cervix. The device can be inserted 6 hours prior to intercourse and must remain in place for at least 6 hours after. Do not leave it in for more than 24 hours. If intercourse is to occur again, remove the device and apply more spermicide. In theory, the diaphragm prevents the sperm from reaching the cervix and the spermicide destroys it. The diaphragm has a typical failure rate of 12% and a perfect use failure rate at 6%. The cervical cap is very similar to the diaphragm, but not as common. It's rarely used in the US. The major difference between the cervical cap and the diaphragm is that the cervical cap is designed to fit more snugly over the cervix. Spermicide must also be applied just like the diaphragm. The cervical cap can be placed 2 days before intercourse, but must remain 6 hours after. In theory, the cap provides continuous protection up to 48 hours without the need to apply more spermicide. The typical failure rate for women who have not given birth is 16%. If women who have given birth use this method, the failure rate doubles to 32%. Even with proper use, the failure rate is 9% and 20% for those who have given birth. Diaphragm and cervical caps are not cheap either. It costs anywhere from $50 to $200 just for the exam. The actual device themselves cost $25 to $75, $60 to $75 for the cervical cap. Besides the low effectiveness, the expensiveness, and the higher risk of STIs, there are other negatives about the device. They can increase the risk of urinary tract infections, and the cervical cap can cause toxic shock syndrome if left in too long. For those who don't know what toxic shock syndrome is, it's a rare, life-threatening complication caused by certain types of bacterial infections. There are only a few positives to these devices. A main one would be that they are good for up to 2 years. This makes them good for short-term or long-term use. Another positive about these devices is how small they are. You can carry them with you wherever you go, in your pocket or your purse. One of the main positives is that your partner will most likely not be able to feel the device when it is inserted. In conclusion, these devices are actually pretty effective, when used properly anyways. However, while these devices are supposed to prevent pregnancies, they do nothing for STIs. These devices are actually more likely to make you susceptible to STIs. The spermicide used in these methods can cause irritation in the vaginal tissue, making transmissions of STIs more likely. If you or a friend are considering using these devices, I highly recommend keeping track of how long you've had them inserted, and remember to insert spermicide when needed. If you're dealing with irritation caused by the spermicide you are using, just remember there are other types. Thank you for watching my video.